watch movies with you.
Is that so? Mom? What the hell are you doing sneaking into R-rated movies? You're in trouble, Missy.
I'm terrified by what's about to happen. What do you want to do?
Have sex and get pregnant. That'll show her.
If that's what you need.
Remember?
How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good. How are you?
How are you?
Albert?
I'm good. I gotta tell you guys, I watched the 4:30 movie yesterday. I can relate to the whole movie because I grew up in the 80s and I know exactly how all this went down. And although I'm not a filmmaker, ultimately, I felt like I could resonate with everything that went on in this movie. And you guys did a fantastic job altogether.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so
my
much.
friend. Appreciate that.
So my first question is actually for each of you. What inspired you to take on the roles that you play in the film?
Nick?
Well, obviously, to a certain extent, beggars can't be choosers. So if Kevin Smith wants a guy like me, I'm gonna come 9 times out of 10, 10 out of 10. So yeah, I mean, it was a great script and a very fun character to inhabit. A very loose and just a silly guy that it was fun to pretend to be.
All right.
Your whole delivery right there was really giving me like
Yeah.
Hispanic McConaughey.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Awesome. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, for me, I love getting to be weird and getting paid to be weird on camera. And I feel like with this movie, I don't know, it's fun to, I mean, spoiler alert, I'm not 16. So it was fun to kind of harken back to your own teenage years and find that in your body and activate the weirder parts of yourself to embody these like freaky teens. So yeah, and like Nick said, it's like, what am I going to do? Say no to Kevin Smith? This was a blessing. So more than honored to get to portray, versions of his childhood friends.
That's awesome.
I didn't have a lot of those crazy, chaotic, funny scenes that these guys did, but I know a lot of the scenes I was in, there was just a lot of heart and a lot of earnesty, but I loved it's brilliant. Like Kevin's writing is just so satisfying to play out as an actor as well, because it is so conversational. So I think that was a major something that I was so drawn to. It's not hard to put yourself in the scenes he creates.
Yeah, I could really relate to what Brian David was feeling in terms of just the scene with Genesis Rodriguez in the back of the theater when they're talking about, she's like, look at yourself, you're a director, kind of a thing, where I think really just working on some of Kevin's movies, I mean, he's been the one that's actually been like, what are you doing? Go write, go make your own stuff. I don't know how you can just like, he's said it to me, like I could never just be an actor and just like play that game, because it's just, I mean, it's like Nick and Reed says, like beggars can't be choosers. I mean, if somebody asks you to do it, like you're gonna do it. That's kind of the job. And I think it's really, I don't know, just really inspired me in a sense to kind of try to tell some stories that maybe have some meaning, and then you can kind of help, like give really talented people who need jobs and want to work, like let them work, I guess. I rambled, sorry.
Yeah, I gotta say though, one of the funny thing was you had a great supporting cast of veterans. And Austin, this is for you. There had been times when you must have almost broke with your scenes with Ken Jeong, when he's constantly coming up to you and saying, here, the phone calls for you, because I could not stop laughing at that whole scene. And I just thought to myself, he had to have at least he had to have broken at least once, because the way that Ken just brings on that energy, it's just hysterical.
No, yeah, Ken is ridiculous. He was making all of us break and himself constantly. I feel like he makes himself laugh just when he's with his own delivery because he knows he's being like funny or like he hits something at like in a right rhythm. Yeah, definitely broke with him.
Yeah. And Sienna, as well, your scenes with Kate, who played your mom, she was actually hysterical as well. So I was thinking to myself, the way she just makes the comebacks right towards you. Were there times where you felt like you just had to start busting out laughing when she delivered the line back to you?
Yeah, because she's such a character off screen as well. She's so kind and she's got that like high energy. It was fun to work. It was fun to work across from her. The scene in the pool actually. Um, she wasn't there on the day. Austin and I we filmed it separately, so it was interesting to see the cut and see how she played it back and forth.
That's awesome.
I
And
totally
Reed,
forgot about that.
Yeah.
yeah. And Reed, you had a funny scene with Jeff Anderson, Randall Graves himself. What was that? Was when he confronted you in that one scene? How what was that like? Was that kind of like funny towards like how everything came out?
Yeah, right, if you're lucky, you get to do a few takes of every scene, and then you see what the editor of any given project is going to put together. On this one, of course, Kevin edits all of his own things, so he was also present in the room with us. But the reaction that I give when I get caught in that scene with him is one I only did in one take. So it was really fun to see that one is the one that came to life because he does give me an all-knowing look.
That's awesome. Well, one thing that really stood out was the trailer, the faux trailers that we got in this film. Kind of remind me of the Eli Roth Grindhouse, but we had some other funny ones here. Let me ask you, this is for you, all you guys together. If there was one movie out of all those like fake trailers that you would want come to life, what movie would you want to see?
Sister Sugar Walls for me.
Yeah, I'm big time advocate of Sister Sugar Walls, though who knows what kind of studio would produce that? Maybe Kevin will do it independently. But I think it would be a hilarious movie.
This summer, A24
Sister Sugar Walls.
Done with a dirty secret.
Imagine if he actually, did you imagine if he actually cast his daughter again as
I feel like there's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's not only that one because it reminded me of the '80s film Angel. I don't know if you guys heard of that movie, but it was kind of a similar premise where she's a schoolgirl by day, but she's a hooker by night.
Yeah, I think that's where the idea like definitely.
And then the one that really made me crack up was Booties because
right.
Oh man.
Because it reminded me of the movie Ghoulies, and in Ghoulies 2, there's a scene that's similar to what we see in Jason Biggs getting, all that. And
I can't go near a porta potty ever again after seeing that. No way.
So
as booty critters.
Exactly. So as this film was set in the '80s, so this is for all of you guys. You can answer, whoever can answer. Do you have a favorite '80s films that you guys really like watching or something?
The Godfather 2 came out in the 80s, didn't it?
Yeah, it was the 70s.
Yeah.
70s.
The first one was the 70s for sure. Was the 80s?
Yeah, first one was 72,
second?
the second one was 74, and then they did 1990 was the third one.
For me, I definitely have to say
no.
The Shining, because that's one of my favorite movies, and then The Thing.
Awesome. That's a good one.
Sienna, what do you think? Sienna loves 80s
Yeah,
movies.
I'm gonna say, shut up.
This is a cinephile. You gotta watch out for her. She comes out with some.
She was trying to take.
I think at this point we're gonna. If it's just between Sienna and me, this is gonna last longer than 10 minutes.
Do not believe them. Do not believe
Her
them.
list
I'm
goes
gonna say
on and
Karate
on
Kid.
and
Did you
Okay.
say Cool Runnings?
Sorry?
Did you say Cool Runnings?
She was quoting Cool Runnings the entire time we were filming.
She loves
was
Cool
always
Runnings.
quoting Cool
You can
Runnings.
move on to
She
Reed.
loves Cool Runnings.
She was always doing the Cool Runnings impersonation.
Take it away, Reed.
All right, Reed, what's yours?
I grew up, my mom really loves rom-coms, so I grew up watching a lot of John Hughes movies. So I would say, and honestly, not even his rom-coms, like also like Curly Sue. Like I grew up watching all of his movies, so probably one of his.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Didn't Beetlejuice come out in 88?
Yep, there you go. Yes, it did.
Oh, I thought it was
Wow.
90. Beetlejuice is like,
1988.
Beetlejuice 88, yeah.
We're telling everybody,
Yeah.
hey, skip.
Oh yeah,
that's one
yeah.
of my favorites.
Listen, if I could tell anybody anything, we had Barbenheimer last year. Let's do this. Let's kick off Halloween season right, okay? As autumn is blowing in, let's remind ourselves of a better decade. Let's go see the 4:30 movie. Let's go see Beetlejuice. But let me tell you, get in the spirit here, okay? Buy those 4:30 tickets and see it, and then slide on over into the next theater and watch Beetlejuice. You get
There you
two
go.
movies for the price of one.
Exactly. There you go. That's what you gotta do. So
Yeah, and we have a
finally-
deal with every cinema across the
Yeah.
country. They know you're gonna do this. It's totally
Everyone's aware.
kosher. It's all good. So
Yep,
Yeah.
there you
If
go.
you go watch if you go buy 4:30 tickets, you get a free also viewing to the new Beetlejuice.
but you just have
something
to
that
go
we
right
looked at.
after. Yeah.
Just make sure you rush out from the 4:30 into the Beetlejuice show.
This makes me hope Kevin Smith is watching this video by the time I post this and he realizes that could
Oh
be
no,
a
you
good
have
idea.
you haven't heard. You haven't
Wait.
heard about Kevin.
What?
Oh no. Let's just say he's not watching.
That's okay.
You're so stupid. You're so stupid.
So finally, all right. So this last question is for all of you. What's next for you after this that you could talk about? Any new projects in the works?
Well, something I can talk about because I got the permission is I had the blessing of getting to work with Kevin twice in 1 year. This time he produced a movie that's not his own, but is written and starring and directed by the rapper Logic, who makes a cameo in our movie. So I met him on set for 4:30 movie, and then he casted me in this movie called Paradise Records that will be hopefully coming out within the next year. Super funny, kind of Clerks-esque buddy comedy set in a record store. So I got to work with Kevin 2 times in 1 year, which is insane. And I also got to work with Logic, which is super cool. So check it out when it comes out.
Awesome.
Woo!
What?
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Who's got you?
Siena has a bunch. Like he has like
So
3 or
many.
4 movies, dude.
Stop
He's
it.
crazy.
Seeing how many movies you're making right now.
Yeah, I mean, what set are you on right now?
There's a rom-com, another coming of age movie coming out. I believe at the end of November. It's called Sidelined: The QB and Me. That's the most recent, and then there's a horror movie called What She Doesn't Know, but I'm not too sure when the date is on that. But coming up.
I think just so everybody, it's clear what Nick was referring to is Kevin is actually in the room with Nick right now, watching him, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, so Nick is working on something new
Awesome.
right now.
Kevin and I are putting the puzzle together in my office right now as we speak. So
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Everyone, check out the 4:30 movie on September the 13th. If you love 80s films, if you love anything set in the 80s, one of the best decades ever, this is the movie to see. Thank you guys for taking time to talk about it, and I hope this movie does succeed.
Albert,
you.
thank you, my friend.
Thank you so
for
much,
your
man.
time.
All right.
Yeah,
Y'all
really.
take care. Stay awesome.
You too, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.